Hello, I am Jamila McMallow, and I am a mindset coach for women executives and entrepreneurs. And today I wanted to talk to you about commitment, right? So many times there's this conversation about, oh, the guy doesn't want to commit, the man doesn't want to commit, blah, blah, blah about commitment. But the truth is that there are a lot of women who are not open to being in a committed relationship. And by committed, I don't mean like, they're out here, in the streets dating multiple men. But what I mean is they'll find a good man, but won't commit to him. He'll ask them to marry him. They'll say no or get engaged and drag their feet about picking a date. Or they marry him, but then don't want to take his name because he it's something he would like, but they don't want to do it. And so I want to talk about this today because I think it's so critically important because the reasons why as a woman you might be holding back in this regard. And this is especially true if you're that go-getter driven type A woman that's always going and doing and being and used to being in control. And sometimes when you get into a relationship, when you fall in love with someone, you can start to feel maybe a little bit out of control. You're really operating from an emotional place. Now, if you have not done a significant amount of healing work around your fears, around your insecurities, around your childhood trauma, well, you're bringing those to the table. And so you may be making this man pay for the sins of your past exes who potentially were toxic. And so if by some chance, despite, all of the baggage that you pulled up into the relationship with, right, the U-Haul truck full of baggage, despite that, you still found him. You got this relationship with this good man who's patient and all these wonderful things. You're on the same page about money. You're on the same page morally. You're on the same page with your values, etc. And he has all the pieces and components for what you're looking for a person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. You, in fact, have no issue with being married. It's something that you would like, but you're afraid to actually do it. And the roots again are in childhood trauma because if, let's say, your parents got divorced or you saw your parents' relationship was very volatile, abusive, whatever, if you saw the women in your life struggle or suffer in their relationships with men or in their marriages, then you might kind of have a bad taste in your mouth about it. And you might feel like it's like something that is going to trap you or diminish you or hinder you in some way. And that's simply not true. The whole key, the whole key when it comes to marriage is to choose wisely. That's the key. Because if you choose wisely, it can be the most incredible and wonderful decision you've ever made in your life. But if you choose poorly, I've done that before. And I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably have a story or two about a bad decision you made about being in a relationship with a man for too long and how that all turned out and went. And when you choose poorly, you can sometimes categorize the whole arrangement of marriage, or you can say all men are this way, or blah, blah, blah. And we can really get stuck in that negativity and bitterness. And that's just simply not the way to be. It is not the arrangement of marriage. It is not all men. It is that we simply chose poorly the first time, or maybe multiple times. And now we're struggling to trust ourselves to make a wise decision this time, even though all the signs are pointing to the fact that this is a good guy. He's a good man. He's hanging in there with us. Now, if he has proposed to you and y'all only been dating for like 2 weeks, okay, that's a red flag, right? So I'm not talking about that. But I'm talking about this man has really proven himself to you. And it's time to stop making him jump through hoops. And it's time for you to make a decision. And the only reason why you're hesitating is because of things that are going on inside of you, not necessarily anything that's happening with him and in your relationship with him. See, even though he might be showing up in a healthy way, you might not be. Because that maybe was not your background. You maybe have some additional healing you need to do, some additional changes you need to make in your behaviors in order for you to really find happiness and success and fulfillment in a relationship. But you're going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to make a decision because here's the reality and the truth of it. If you don't marry him, somebody else will. Somebody else will. Another good woman with whom he shares the same values, morals, all those things. Yes, he can find another woman Just like you could find another man that might be better than him. But if he is the type of guy that is a good man, that wants to provide, that wants to take care of you, wants to have a family, all those things that you've been dreaming for, asking for, praying for, but you are not responding, then don't expect him to wait all day and all year and all his life for that, because he too has the right to be loved by someone that is in love with him and that wants the same type of commitment that he wants. So think about that, okay? If you got a good man, if he's proven himself, if he's jumping through all these hoops, stop it. Heal yourself, get clear on what you want, and make a decision so that either you can go forward with this man or allow him to go forward and be with somebody else who's ready for the love that he's bringing to the table. Okay? The second thing, if you're already married or you're engaged, whatever, and you're having this dispute over changing your last name and it's something that's very important to him, well, if you really love him, if he's a good man, if you value his feelings, what is the big deal? Now, in certain cultures, like I know in Latin cultures, you don't change your last name. It's you have your mother's last name and your father's last name, so you have like two last names. So that's different. I get that. It's not even the way that it's done. But here in this particular culture, it is done that way. And a lot of men do want their wives to take their last names. Why? Because it's a symbol that you belong to him. Not that he owns you, but that you're his wife. You're a part of him. He's caring for you. You're with him. It's like an outward show that, hey, she's mine. Like he won the trophy. I got the prize. And it's not to objectify you. It's not to diminish you in any way. But the truth of the matter is if you are leaving your singlehood behind and stepping into a covenant relationship with this man, then you two become one. And it's okay to take his name, because here's what I want you to know. Changing your name requires you to go down to the DMV and get a new driver's license, and then to the Social Security office to get a new Social Security card. So in the worst case scenario event that, oh my goodness, the whole thing comes crashing down and you've got to go back to your maiden name, gasp. Well, it's in the divorce paperwork. And guess what? You're going to go back to the DMV and you're going to go to the Social Security office and get your name changed back like that. It is not some huge deal. It is not some expensive thing. It does not have some deeper meaning. What you're trying to do is hold on to your father's name, and your father's job was to take you to adulthood so that you could step out onto your own. And you've been doing that. You've been independent, you've been single, but now you want to step into a relationship with this man, and he wants the two of you to become one. Maybe he's cool with hyphenating it. That's fine, whatever. But just know how it hits for him. Even if he says he's okay with it, you got to understand how it hits for him. What you're telling him is, I don't want your name. I don't want anybody to know that I'm associated with you. I don't want to belong to you. I don't want to be identified that you own me or I am yours. That's how it hits for him. That may not be how you thinking about it. It's not that deep, whatever. It hits like that for him. Why wouldn't she want my name? She on my insurance, and everything else. You're sharing a life, the deed on your house, the car, everything. So my point is if you've got a good man that is loving you, it is not a huge deal. You can change it back. Seriously, it's not the end of the world. My goodness. Sometimes we get stuck on stuff that just doesn't matter, because that's not the real issue. The issue is some part of you is afraid that if you give up your name, that means, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose myself in this marriage. Good, you do, because the two of you are becoming one. You will always maintain a sense of your own beingness, your own independence as a woman. You have your own mind. He's not marrying you because he wanted a robot Stepford wife, okay? You are still you, but you are you and a part of a partnership. Now, if you don't want that, hey, cool. Leave the dude alone so he can go find the woman that is going to be open to receiving his love and the level of commitment that he wants to have and share with someone for the rest of his life. Don't hold him up. Because we know that women like to complain that men hold them up. They fail to give a title. They fail to commit. But women do the same thing. And so I'm talking to you. So if you got a good man who's loving you, who has proven himself, commit or let him go. And if he wants you to take his last name, really think about what's the big deal. Why are you so bent on holding on to your name? And how do you think that makes him feel? And what do you think he says to himself about what he believes you really feel about him and the longevity of your relationship? Now, hey, to each his own, right? Um, I'm making a generalization because some people keep their names, and hey, like I said, certain cultures, that's the way it's done. But when it's not that way. If he's verbalized and expressed that he wants you to take his name, well, that's what he wants. And so by you saying no, you have to ask yourself, is it worth the cost of how that's going to impact him and how he's going to view this relationship? Because to him, it can sometimes appear that it's temporary. You just waiting for the other shoe to drop. And, and when it does, hey, you be ready. I never changed nothing anyway. Do you see what I'm saying? So I want to thank you for watching. That's all I got for you today. I will check the comments later. And yeah, listen, the blessing is that you found a good man. So don't blow it, honey. It's a lot of women out here looking for good guys. And if you got one, really do your work on you. Okay? So you can show up in the way that not only he deserves, but you deserve, because you deserve to have that certainty about this relationship and about your love and about your feelings for this man. All right? So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.